6 months with this controller came to an end, with so much hype around this controller upon release, and now it has shown its age. The trigger pain has peeled off. This is Gulikit King Kong Pro 2 long-term review. First and foremost, this thing is still a good controller. However, owning this product for so long, their cons does show up. Part of it came back to the company itself, Gulikit. So here I am telling you my experience and some other people who experienced the same thing with this controller. First and foremost, this controller probably the controller with the fastest breakable micro switch. It only took me 3 months to break it. I game on it at least 4 hours a day, totaling to roughly 4 times 30 equal to 120 hours. The button that I'm talking about is the right bumper or RB button. Since eternity, the only button that always break on me is always right bumper. And this one is included. To be exact, Gulikit controller has the fastest breakable micro switch. If you open inside, they use the same micro switch from older version Gulikit King Kong, which is the red micro switch. I don't know which manufacturer they sources, but this micro switch probably the worst I've encountered. To clarify, the broken switch does not mean that the switch losing connection. In fact, it is losing tactility, where the click disappeared and turning itself into a touchpad. It's so sensitive to the point accidental click or double click is a real thing. This comes back to the spring and click mechanism of micro switch, where the spring is a very tiny silicon and the click itself is the metal detaching itself. Similar to mouse switch that manufacturer put in the mouse but smaller. When things are this small, constant pressure and operation at extreme forces, it bounds to break. But I don't think it should be this bad. If things want to break, I expect it will go 1 to 2 years, but not in 3 months. I also released a video how to replace the micro switch on Gulikit controller if you're willing to try DIY yourself. Gulikit, change your freaking micro switch. It's a poor quality component. Second thing I encountered is the scratchy button. Some people has it even worse by having it stuck. Their new hybrid switch design, to be honest, is interesting. It eliminates the mushy feeling you usually get from silicon from the so-called mechanical switch in controller, but at the same time provide enough feeling like a rubber dome. It also gives you brown switch feeling. The issue is when a plastic product this small being produced, it is hard to make an equal sample each time. When the liquid form of plastic cool down, it will solidify with different rate, thus create a slight difference in specification. The difference is less than half millimeter, but this gave a huge impact on the switch building. In addition to the plastic used for the switch is not a hard plastic, but a soft plastic. Hence, it also bendable during the switch construction. A slight bend on this notch can turn the switch from enough brown to super tight scratchy or to just a linear switch. It took me a multiple attempt to micro adjust the switch to my preference. In addition, I need to add silicone lubricant to keep the switch from become scratchy. I released a video how to turn the switch into a red linear switch, but if you like to keep the brown feeling, you need to go extra steps of lubricating and micro adjustment. At the end of the day, nobody, I said again, should encounter this issue. But almost everyone who bought this controller will encounter this issue. This is their first design on this switch, and I believe there will be more iteration of this switch in their future product. I still think this Gulikit switch has superiority over other switch like rubber dome or mouse switch. I can see the possibility to redesign the switch to optical switch or make it bigger or redesign the controller for users to easily access and replace those switches. But the biggest thing they need to change is to improve their quality check in the first place. For now, Gulikit Hybrid Switch is a brilliant design, but still immature and at beta stage. Hall effect sensor from Gulikit probably their biggest jackpot in the controller market. Their claim of no drift joystick is absolutely accurate. It does actually removing the number one culprit of joystick drift, which is potentiometer. However, the Hall sensor joystick did not remove that zone. That zone on this controller is around 10%. On rest, there is a slight play on the joystick in the dead zone. It was as good as ALP joystick on other controller, but not as good as the ALP joystick on Sony DualSense and FlyDigi controller. These two controllers has near zero play on rest, making it able to has less than 1 to 5% movement, making their dead zone is very small. Additionally, on FlyDigi, it was not manufactured by ALPS itself but by other third-party manufacturer. The issue is near zero dead zone is not good on traditional joystick, but if they implement such quality on Hall sensor joystick, it will be phenomenal. My last issue with their controller is Gulikit controller has the worst polling rate among all third-party controllers and miles behind first-party controller in terms of latency. Their latency is so bad to the point Joy-Con is even better than them. For most people, this is not an issue because most gamers is a casual gamers. But I still won't recommend this controller for competitive player, especially people who play Apex, the one that push first, die first, and proceed to blame their teammate, and maybe toxics too. For me, speed is not on top of my list because I enjoy this controller playing competitively and not having a single problem. But some people does feel different, especially when I try to compare side by side between overclock DualSense at 500Hz and Gulikit. DualSense does feel more responsive. $30 matchmaking is even better than Gulikit in terms of speed. By all means, my limit of speed is Xbox controller with above 90% accuracy at 125Hz, which costs you $65. However, their main audience still Switch user because that is where they heavily market this controller in the first place, and Switch run at 63Hz to reduce power consumption. For Switch users, this controller fulfills the standard, but for PC gamers, this is an underwhelming performance. In conclusion, will I keep buying Gulikit controller? Yes. People who create innovative design always attract buyers like me. I like their idea. I like what they try to bring to the gaming community. Will I keep recommend Gulikit to others? After experience their product from first King Kong Pro and King Kong Pro 2, for now, not really. Unless you can fathom the cons that I talked before, or adventurers like me willing to open their controller for no reasons. 8-bit Duo Ultimate is the only other product right now which provide the same Hall sensor joystick at the same price as King Kong Pro 2. And I have better experience with them in a long term. Mind you that you still get a Gulikit product even it is from 8-bit Duo. By all means, I'm not saying Gulikit King Kong is a bad controller, but every product have their cons and it back to the customers to decide is the cons are worth the price tag. So ask yourself and let me know in the comment down below. So that's all about it. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Call your auntie, grandma, appa, amma. Tell them to subs. I'm very lonely here. Okay, see ya. Bye.